All right, here we go. How are you all? Welcome to today. Let's get started. Sorry for the wait here. Class is in session. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you know you can always pause, repeat, skip ahead, do what you need to do. Look at the closed captioning if you need to get through today's assignment. Today's assignment of the dreaded story problems. Now, here's why story problems are dreaded. It's because you're applying the information to real life, and that application process is one of the hardest things that we do in life. It's highest order thinking. It's level 4 and beyond. It's asking for a lot, and I'm thinking of something that I'll include here. It's tough, so don't be discouraged by it. Don't be frustrated by it. Just recognize it's a way where you can learn the most, along with if you teach it, here we go, teaching it to others. So as you have concerns, if you're not sure, ask a friend. Maybe they can help you out. Okay, here we go. Inequality story problems. We're going to do a couple of these. I'll work it through. And it's really, if you just think, you're turning these words into numbers. You're turning the life information into the mathematical concepts. And once you get practiced and well versed at that, you'll be able to do any story problem. So here we go. For each one, we need to write the inequality, solve it, and graph it, and write it in interval notation. Woo! I'll do a couple of these. I'm going to focus right now on writing the inequality. I might do a couple of these. I might race through these, but this is the work from yesterday and the days before. So you can do each of these based on what we've talked about before. I'm going to focus today on the writing of the inequality. And then you can look at the rest of these on the answer key. All right, so here we go. Susan, New York City. She's got $42 an hour. Works in an office and dry cleaning every day. Oh, $75. I'm never living in New York, that's for sure. She wants to make this much. She wants to make more than this much. How many hours must she work? So I've taught my classes before to underline the items we know we're going to be turning into the math equation or inequality. And let's see if this gets it. We want to know how many hours, so that's the variable. And she makes $42 every hour. So if you've got 3 hours, you're going to be timesing that by 3. So $42 an hour, but she's going to lose $75 a day because of that dry cleaning. So she's going to lose that dry cleaning. Upon doing so, she wants to make more than $260 a day. There you go. You've written the inequality. Upon doing that, you can solve it, graph it, write the interval notation, and go through. Maybe I'll spend a second on this where we add 75 to both sides so that 42 H's is going to be greater than whatever that is. Your calculator will let you know, 335. And then it's just a matter of how many, when you divide by 42, what do you get? Well, H is greater than 335 divided by 42, 7.97. So H has to be more than 7.97. How many hours must you work each day? 7.97 hours. And then you would find 8 on the number line, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be right about there. It's got to be an open circle because you don't include it, and everything greater than that. There we go. Basically 8 hours, greater than 8 hours. Okay, number 2, Ashley. She's saving, she's got $2,000 for a vacation. The round trip is that much money, and the hotel is this much money. So we've got these items that we're going to be using, right, and solving inequality. How much can she spend on everything else? What's everything else? We have no idea. Let's call it everything. Well, let's call it Ashley. How much is she going to spend on just Ashley stuff? Well, she knows she's got the 637, and we know she's got the 325, and the Ashley stuff. This $2,000, what inequality to use? If you think it through, you'll know that this amount, it can't be more than 2,000. It can be equal. It can be equal to the 2,000, but it can't be more than, of course. But It's got to stay under or be the same as the 2,000. Then if you combine the like terms and subtract them off, you can find out how much she asked for the Ashley stuff. I'm getting, what, 858.62. Hope I did that right. You can check with the calculator. And then subtract off the 862 from both sides. And Ashley can spend less than or equal to, what's that going to be, 1,138? The calculator will tell you for sure. So I've written the inequality. I've taken some extra time to solve it. I could graph it and write it in interval notation, but you can check the answer key. That's the work from the days before. I don't want today's video to be too long, and I want you to be able to work these through. Okay, Karen says you can do free checking as long as you have 500 bucks in the account. It's a horrible bank, man. Get a different bank. Get a bank that has no service fees. Credit unions are really good, but getting my personal opinion here. Find one that don't ever pay service fees at a bank or any financial institution. But let's see, she's got this much, writes a check for this much, writes a check for this much. How much money? So there's the Karen money. How much money does she need to deposit? So how much money does she need to add on so that she doesn't have the service fee? Well, she's got the 516. And she's subtracting off the 3196. What does she need to add in to make sure that the money is at least 500? Is at least 500. So it's not less than, it's everything else except the less. At least, it can be equal to or greater than 500. Well, I have no idea what that is, but my calculator knows. 516.46 minus 3196, 484.50. And you can kind of see what's happening now. 484.50 plus the m has to be more than or equal to 500. When you subtract off the 484.50 from both sides, m becomes greater than or equal to, what is that, $16, $15.50. So she needs to deposit $15.50 or more to avoid being charged. You can graph that if you want. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, there's 14, 15. So it's everything including or greater than the 15. Whoa! 15.50 is over here. It's after the 15. 15.50. And then the interval notation is from 15.50 to positive infinity. And you include the 15.50. Whoops. Maybe that's why I'm not showing you the interval notation, because I'm getting them wrong. There you go. All right, Greg, you got 30 bucks in your credit at the bookstore. Maybe it's a college bookstore, wants to buy a lot of books. Books are only $4. Never mind, that's not a college bookstore. Add a couple zeros for the college books. Single shipping charge. So we've got this money. The book is $4 per book. Shipping charge, and you're going to subtract off another 2. How much can you afford? Well, subtract off. I shouldn't say subtract off. How many can you afford? Well, how can you afford? Well, a certain number of books times $4 each. This $30 amount is what it's going to be compared to. On all these inequalities, you have an amount, and then you have this gobbledygook on the other side. So this amount, and there's a shipping charge added on. There's an additional shipping charge. I did say minus 2 because you could say negative 4b minus 2 and use the opposite sign. It just gets more confusing that way. Basically, this amount of money is compared to the 30. And it's happening on every one of these. You've got this gobbledygook compared to one number, a gobbledygook compared to one number. If you can find the one number, then you know what the gobbledygook is going to be. And you can look up the definition of gobbledygook to understand what I'm saying. Sorry for the wait. Okay, so the books plus the shipping charge has to be what, 30? It can equal to 30, but it's got to be under. It definitely can't be more than. Then you solve it. Subtract 2 from both sides, divide by 4, and you end up with b is less than or equal to 7. I know I didn't write every step, and I tell all my students always write every step to get it right. Better chance of getting it right if you write every step. There's the 7, It can include the 7, everything less than the 7, 7 to negative infinity. That's how many books he can write. Well, can you do a negative amount of books? No. But how many books can he afford? He can afford 7. I can put down to 0 if I want to be actually accurate. Okay, wrote the inequality, solved it, graphed it, and interval notation. All right, Brian wants to go to the gym because he's a wimp. He could pay $50 a month for unlimited. If you know something about these questions, you know why I'm laughing. Okay, cost for a gym, $50 a month for unlimited, or this gobbledygook. So it's either $50 a month or this gobbledygook. How many visits? There's the variable right there. To make the month per that be the cheaper option for the unlimited. Okay, well, the number of visits. And it's $4 every visit plus a $12 monthly fee. And that gobbledygook is being compared to the 50. So how many visits each month to make the $50 per month the cheapest one? For that to be the cheapest, well, that means it's got to be less than this amount right here has to be bigger than. That's got to be the smallest part. It can't be equal because this has got to be the smaller of the two. So it's got to be something bigger than. This side has to be bigger than for this to be the cheapest. If I say it this way, money and money, this is the cheapest money, so that's got to be the smallest part. So the bigger part here. Then when you subtract off 12 there, 4 V's have to be bigger than 38. Divide by the 4, so the V bigger than 38 fourths, or the same thing as, what is that, 9 and a half. So the number of visits have to be more than 9 and a half. Well, visits, it's got to be the 10. You can't have half a visit. So here's 10. The number of visits have to be bigger than 10. Can't be, well, it's got to be bigger than 9 and a half, so it can be 10. Like this would be the 9 and a half. Bigger than 9 and a half. The answer to this question, how many visits, is 10, but the answer to this right here is 9.5, not including 9.5, so that'd be 10. That's the interval notation written. But the answer to this question, how many visits, is 10. So if on the quiz there's a question, try answering it one way, try answering it another way. Let us know if the quiz doesn't work out for you. Finally, Bob, cell phone costs him $21 a month, plus $3 for every gigabyte. What's the limit to the number of gigabytes? So the number of gigabytes is the question mark. Just everything is monthly budget. So it's $3 for every gigabyte, plus the $21 a month. And he's got to stay within, so it's got to be under, equal to, he's got to be within that budget of $30. Subtract 21 from both sides. Divide both sides by 3. There we go. 3 gigabytes. Less than or equal to 3. Less than or equal to 3. Less than or equal to 3. And of course, negative infinity can't go down to infinity, go down to 0. Anyway, whole bunch of chicken scratches to the concept of writing the inequality, solving the inequality, graphing, and interval notation. On these, again, the more you can turn the words into numbers and just do it a little bit by little bit, the better chance you'll have of getting this right. Writing more steps rather than less will help you out on this. Hopefully, if I just kind of turn this over so all of that messy handwork isn't on there, hopefully you do well on the quiz. Have a wonderful day, everyone.